Hi, and thanks for joining us for our class today. So today we're going to do a nice simple routine to really open out through the spine and engage our core. So it's a mat-based class, and we're going to start by warming up in standing, and then we're going to come down to continue the class on our backs on the mat. So I hope you enjoy the class today. Remember, always work to a level that you're comfortable with, because most importantly, we want you to enjoy the class. Okay, so when you're ready, let's get started in standing. Okay, so we'll get started. So we're going to bring those toes apart and those heels apart, so those feet at that hip width distance. Just to start with, we're going to transfer that weight coming onto the fronts of your toes and then back onto your heels. So just slowly forwards and back. And just look to find that midpoint between those two movements, so that weight's going nice and evenly down through your feet. Great. Knees are soft, hands up onto your pelvis, and then very gently we're going to tilt that pelvis forward and then tilting it back. So just a gentle movement forwards and back. Again, just looking to find that midpoint between those two movements, so that pelvis in that nice neutral position. Core's gently engaged, just that 10-20%, remember. Ribs soft, collarbones wide, and that neck nice and long and lifted. Okay, so we're just going to start by floating our hands up to shoulder height, and we're going to warm up with a bow and arrow stretch. So take a breath in. As we breathe out, we're going to reach one arm round and back, and then back to the centre. And again, reaching your arms around and back, and then back to the centre. So just opening out through that chest, and we're just rotating and stretching through that upper spine. So just go to where you feel comfortable. If you're a little bit stiff there, looking round and back, breathing out as you're reaching back, breathing in, folding back. Good. Coming back, lovely. Reaching away, folding back. And let's just do one more each side. Reaching away, fold back, and back, lovely, and float those arms back down, lovely. Okay, so we're going to go into our balance series here. So we're going to float our hands up to shoulder height, come up onto those toes, bend the knees, lower the feet and down. Good. And again, so float those hands up onto those toes, bend the knees, lower the feet and down. Good. And again, floating those hands up onto those toes, bend the knees, lower the feet and down. So nice and controlled, keeping those knees going over those toes, and that hip width distance apart. Okay, so they shouldn't be knocking in or widening. We're keeping that control. Lovely. Floating those hands up onto those toes. Control that lower down. Lovely. Now this time, if you can, we're going to float our hands up to the ceiling. Come up onto those toes again. Bend the knees, lower the feet and down. And again, float those hands up onto those toes. Bend the knees, lower the feet and down. Good. And again, reaching up onto those toes. Bend the knees, lower the feet and down. Good. And again, reaching up onto those toes, bend the knees, lower the feet and down. Still keeping those knees that hip width distance apart, that core's engaged, well done. And down, lovely. One more time, reaching up onto those toes, bend the knees, lower the feet and controlling down. Lovely. Relax those shoulders. Good. Okay, so we're going to stretch our hands up towards the ceiling now, nice and tall. And then with the opposite knee, I'm going to just bring my hand down and tap that knee. Good. So I'm going to flex at the hip, tapping, opposite hand, opposite knee. Good. So nice control, a little bit of coordination, tapping that opposite hand to the opposite knee. Good. Nice and controlled. So I'm stretching through that arm and bringing it down and back up. Good. Tapping down, reaching up. Tapping down, reaching up. Good. We'll do a few more here. So flexing that hip, tapping down. Good. Tapping and back up. Nice and control. Lovely. Reaching that arm across the body and lifting back up. Across and up. Lovely. Very good. Let's do one more each side. Tapping across and back up. Well done. And float those arms back down. Lovely. Relax those shoulders. Okay, so we're going to stretch out through our sides now. So we're going to have one down by your side. Reach up with the opposite arm. And we're going to stretch over to that side. Really lengthen out through the side of the body. And then I want you to fold in the middle. We're going to come around in a circle and then back up again. Good. Same again. Reaching over, stretching out through that side. And then we're going to bend in the middle, coming around and back up. Lovely. One more time here. So we're going to drop that hand down, reaching over, stretching through that side, bend in the middle, coming around and reaching back up. Lovely. Float that arm back down. We do the same on the other side. So reach this arm up, drop this hand down, stretching out through that side, and then we're going to bend in the middle, coming around in that circle and lifting back up. Good. And again, drop that hand down, really stretch and lengthen through that side, bend in the middle, coming around and reaching back up. Lovely. One more time. Reaching over, lengthen that side, bending in the middle, coming around in that circle and lifting back up. Lovely. And relax that arm back down. Okay, so we're just going to get our spines moving now with a roll down. So take a breath in. As you breathe out, we're going to tuck that chin down, curling down through that spine, just rolling nice and slowly down towards the floor, just as far as you feel comfortable. Take a breath in at the end here. Then as you breathe out, slowly restacking and lifting back up into standing. Good. And again, breath in. As you breathe out, tuck that chin down, curling slowly down towards the floor. Take a breath in at the end here. And then as you breathe out again, restacking, just slowly coming back up into standing. Good. Now this time we're going to go halfway down and do like a mini cat stretch. So take a breath in. As you breathe out, tuck that chin down, just slowly rolling halfway down. So those hands onto the fronts of the thigh. And then we're just going to tuck that head under, arching up, flexing the spine, then drop down, look forwards, tuck under, and then slowly restacking back up. Okay, we'll do that again. I'll come side on so you can see me there as well. Breath in. As you breathe out, tuck that chin down, rolling those hands just halfway down onto the front of your thigh here. And then we're going to tuck that head under, arching up that back, drop down, look forwards, tuck under, and then slowly restacking back up. Beautiful. Okay, let's do one more time. Breath in. As you breathe out, tuck that chin down, just rolling halfway down. And again, tuck that head under, arching that back up, drop down, look forwards, extending that spine, tucking under and slowly restacking. Great, so let's do one all the way down again now. So breath in. As you breathe out, tuck that chin down, rolling those hands slowly down towards the floor. Breath at the end there. Then as you breathe out, just gently restacking again, back up into standing. Fantastic. Okay, so we're going to come down onto our backs, onto the mat now to continue our class. Okay, so we've come down onto our backs to continue from here. So we're going to start by just finding that starting position. So our feet and knees that hip width distance apart. Just to begin with, we're going to just tilt that pelvis forwards and back, just looking to find that midpoint between those two movements. So that pelvis in that nice neutral position. That core's gently engaged, those ribs are soft, collarbones nice and wide, and that neck nice and long. Lovely. Okay, so we're going to do a double leg stretch from here. So we're going to begin by just using our arms. So we're going to float our hands up towards the ceiling. And I want you to bring your arms above your head, come round in that D shape, and then come back. So breath in to start. As you breathe out, open those arms out and breathing in as you're coming back. Good. Opening out and coming round and back. Now, really think about what's happening at these ribs. I don't want them flaring as you bring your arms above your head. So just watch that. Really keep that control through that centre as we're opening those arms and coming back up. Now, if that's comfortable, we're going to raise one leg up into tabletop and then we're going to reach the leg away and at the same time fold back together. Lower that leg down, opposite leg lifted. Breath in. As you breathe out, reach away. Breathe in as you fold back together. Good. And again, breathing out, breathing in. Good. Breathing out, breathing in. Lovely. So we're just opening out through the spine, controlling that movement through that centre, not letting my ribs flare. So we're opening out, folding back. And if you're comfortable here, we can bring both legs up into double tabletop and then reaching away, folding back. If that feels too much, we're just going to do that with a single leg. So just pick what's comfortable. We can come off into double tabletop if you want to. So breathing out as you lengthen, breathing in as you fold back together. So trying to make it one nice smooth movement together. Opening around, folding back. Good. Remember, you can mix and match these levels. If you're doing a few in double tabletop and that starts to feel too much, or you're losing that control, then just come back to that single tabletop, and then you can always come back to it. Good. Opening out, coming back. Reaching away, fold back. Lovely. So nice and controlled. Remember, thinking about those ribs, keeping those down, keeping that connection between those ribs and those hip bones. So as we bring our arms above your head, we're not letting them flare. So we're reaching away and folding back. Good. So that's feeling too much with that double tabletop though. Remember, we can just come back to that single leg and folding back. Good. Reaching away and folding back. Lovely. So pick what's comfortable. We're going to do last few here. Nice and controlled, opening out through the body. It's a really nice opening movement. Good, and back. And let's do one more each side. Well done. And opening around and then back. Lovely. Float those arms back down. If those legs are lifted one at a time, come back down. Very good. Okay, so we're back onto the mat, feet and knees still like hip width distance apart. We're going to go into our bridge neck, so make sure your feet aren't too far away from your bottom, otherwise we can get cramp in those hamstrings. So just keep those feet a little bit more tucked up to your bottom with this one. Feet and knees like hip width distance apart, as we did before, just making sure you're starting in that nice neutral position, so just tilting forwards and back again if you need to. That cause gently engage, ribs soft. Arms relaxed down by your side. We're going to go into our bridge. So we'll take a breath in all together. As you breathe out, tuck that pelvis under, lifting up into that bridge. Breath in here. And as you breathe out, walk that spine slowly back down onto the mat. And again, breath in. As you breathe out, tucking that pelvis under, lifting up into that bridge. Breath in here. And as you breathe out, walking the spine slowly back down onto the mat. Lovely. And again, breath in. As you breathe out, tucking that pelvis under. Now use these bottom muscles to help lift you up into this bridge and keep those bottom muscles engaged to support you as you slowly lower back down. Good. And again, breath in. As you breathe out, tucking that pelvis under, lifting up into that bridge. Breath in here. Then as you breathe out, walking that spine gently back down onto the mat. And again, breath in. As you breathe out, tucking that pelvis under, lifting up. Good. Keeping that pelvis level as you lift up and then slowly mobilising that spine back down. Good. And again, breath in. As you breathe out, tucking that pelvis under. Now, as we lift up here, if you want to, just to add a bit of variation, we can just raise one heel, lower back down, then the opposite heel, and then slowly walk back down again with those feet down. Good. And again, breath in. As you breathe out, tucking that pelvis under, lifting up, keeping that pelvis level if you can, raising a heel, then the opposite heel, and then slowly walking that spine back down. So sometimes people describe this, imagine your spine's like a set of pearls and you're peeling those pearls one vertebra at a time off the mat, and then those pearls being lowered one at a time, just like your vertebrae back down. So sometimes that helps just to think about that. So you're really feeling that kind of peeling action as you're lifting up. As we come up again, keeping that level, if you want to, we can raise a heel and the other heel, and then slowly lowering back down. And again, lifting up, nice and level, raising a heel and the opposite heel, and then slowly lowering back down. Good. Breath in. As you breathe out, tucking that pelvis under, lifting up, keeping that pelvis level, raising a heel and the other heel, and then slowly lowering back down. Good. Last couple here. Very good. And slowly lowering down. Right, let's do one last time. Breath in. As you breathe out, tucking that pelvis under, use those bottom muscles, lifting up, keeping that level. We're going to raise a heel, then the opposite heel, and then slowly peeling back down. Well done. Let's bring those knees in, have a nice little hug, and just stretch out that back. Well done. So just a breath in and out here. On that out breath, if you can, just relax down into that stretch. So breath in and out. Just relaxing down into that stretch here. Good. So just a nice stretch just to open out through that spine. Well done. And sinking down on that out breath if you can. Well done. Breath in and out. And just sinking down, lovely. Okay, so we're going to lower those legs down one at a time, back to that start position. Okay, so we're going to really do a nice lengthening movement now. So this is our opposite arm, opposite leg movement. So again, making sure we're still starting in that neutral position, that core's engaged. I'm just going to raise one hand above my head and bring it over my head as far as I can. At the same time, I'm going to lengthen my opposite leg and then I'm going to fold them back together. So again, opposite side, we're alternating sides here, reaching opposite arm, opposite leg, and then folding back. Good. So as you breathe out, lengthening away, breathing in as you fold back. Breathing out as you lengthen away, breathing in as you fold back. Good. Breathing out as you lengthen, breathing in as you fold back. Good. Breathing out as you lengthen, breathe in as you fold back. Well done. Now again, with this exercise, we're really thinking about what's happening at those ribs, keeping that connection between those ribs and those hip bones. So sometimes we say, imagine you've got a spring there between them and we don't want to let them ping out. So we're going to try and keep that control. So that means that you might not necessarily touch the floor behind you with your arm, and that's okay because we're just keeping that control from here. So you can either slide the leg along the floor if that feels a little bit more comfortable, or we can just hover it above the mat here. It's a really nice movement just to open out through those hips, really lengthen through the spine. Just lengthening through that body. So hopefully feeling a little bit taller by the end and folding back. Good. Lengthening through, nice and control. But really the heart of this exercise is keeping that control through that centre, because actually we could really overstretch quite easily, but that's not what we're trying to do. We're trying to keep the control as we lengthen and fold back. Good. Reaching away, folding back. So breathing out as we lengthen, breathing in as we're folding back. Breathing out as we're lengthening, breathing in as we're folding back. Good. Breathing out as we're lengthening, breathing in as we're folding back. Good. We're just going to do a few more here, lengthening away and folding back. Good. And folding back. Good. Reaching away and folding back. Lovely. Let's do one more each side. Reaching away and folding back. Opposite arm and folding back from there. Well done. Coming back to that start. Okay, so we're just going to stretch through our spines into rotation now. So either your arms down by your side or out to the side of you. We're going to drop those knees over to one side. Turn your head to the opposite side if you can. Use those toe muscles to bring those knees back up and then over to that opposite side. So we're just rotating side to side from here, opening out through that spine. It's a really nice, gentle stretch to do. Dropping those knees over, turning your head, coming back up and over to that opposite side. Use those toe muscles to help bring those knees back up and over to that opposite side. Good. So we're opening out side to side from here, dropping those knees over, coming back up and over to that opposite side. Good. Just do a few more here, just opening out. Use those toe muscles again to bring those knees back up and over to that opposite side. And again, coming back up and over to that opposite side. Opening out side to side from here. Well done. Dropping those knees over. Just do the last few here. Just opening out that spine. Just adding that rotation with the neck as well. Just have a nice stretch all through the spine. Let's do one more each side. And then we're going to bring those knees back up to that centre and those arms back down by your side. Well done. Okay, so we're just going to stretch out through your hamstrings now. So I want you just to reach one leg up towards the ceiling, toes pointed upwards. And then we're going to flex the foot, pulling that down, point the toes, lifting up. So we're just going to dynamically stretch this today. So point the toes, lifting up, flex the foot, lower the leg down straight. Point the toes, lift up, flex the foot, lower down straight. Good, point the toes lifting up and flex the foot, lower down straight. Still keeping that control through that centre here, but just moving, sort of mobilising that stretch. So lowering down, pointing, lifting up, lowering down to stretch and pointing to lift up. Good. Lowering down to stretch and pointing to lift up. Very good. Pointing, lift up. Last few here, pointing to lift up, flexing, lowering. And one more time, pointing to lift up and flexing to lowering. Well done. Coming back to that start. Bend that leg, lower back down. Very good. Same the other side, so toes pointing up to the ceiling, and we're going to lower down, flexing the foot, pointing, lifting up. Flex the foot, lower down, point to lift up. Good. Point to lift up to the ceiling, flex the foot to lower. Point to lift up and flex the foot to lower. Good, so just still keeping that control through that centre. Just a nice stretch through the back of the leg in that kind of dynamic movement. Flexing to lower, pointing to lift up, flexing to lower. Well done. Still breathing, not holding your breath. Well done. Lowering down. Good. Flexing to lower, pointing to lift up. Last couple here. And one last time. And pointing to lift up. Well done. Bend at the knee. Lower that leg back down. Very good. Okay, so we're going to come back round and up into sitting from here. Just to finish with a few stretches here. So either sit with your legs crossed or your legs out in front, whatever's more comfortable for you. Just relaxing those shoulders from here. So have your arms out in front, and we're going to reach our hands up towards the ceiling and then lower back down. Good. And again, we're reaching those hands up and lowering back down. Good. And again, reach those hands up and lowering down. And again, reaching up, lengthening through and lowering down. On this next one, we're going to reach up, bring those hands behind the head, and we're going to drop down each side and then reach up and lower. Good. And again, reaching up. Bring those hands down behind your head, drop down each side and reaching up, lowering back down. Lovely. And again, reaching up. Drop the hands behind the head, reaching over each side, up to the ceiling and lower back down. Lovely. One last time, reaching up. Drop those hands behind your head, reaching over, little side bend here, reach up to the ceiling and then lower back down. Well done. Okay, so let's just stretch through our necks from here. So keep those shoulders relaxed down. I'm just going to drop my chin down to my chest. Really feel that lengthening through the back of the neck here. And I want you just to look round to that right knee and just feel that lengthening through that opposite side of the neck. I really want you to, as you breathe out, just sink those shoulders down. So any tension, just let them roll off those shoulders, drop down, breathing in and out, just sinking down there. Good, and then we're going to drop that chin back down, just lengthen through the back of the neck from here. And then I'm going to look to my left side and just lengthening through that opposite side of the neck, really thinking about just allowing those shoulders to drop down. Particularly if you hold a lot of tension there, this is nice just to really feel that tension drop down through those shoulders and lengthen through that neck. Good. Breathing in and out. And then just dropping that chin back down again and slowly lifting back up. Lovely. Now we're going to drop one hand over to the side. We're going to reach our arm over, breath in here. And as we breathe out, coming back up and over. Good. And again, reaching over. Breath in, and as you breathe out, back up and over. Good. And again, each side, reaching over and back up. And one more time, reaching over and then back to that centre. Well done, and relax those shoulders down. Fantastic. Well, I hope you've enjoyed the class today. We've done some really nice lengthening movements, and hopefully we'll see you again next time.